Disappointing night.
Yeah.
At the Wells Fargo.
Well, I'll tell you
Center.
this much.
Yes.
They wouldn't have lost if we rang the bell.
Right. Well, listen.
We're open.
We are available.
I'm sure fans will be pumped to see that.
Be a lot of who is this?
Yeah.
Who are these?
More
guys?
likely to happen for you throughout the first pitch of a Phillies game or ring the bell.
First pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
but it
it's
would not
easy.
be like you kept pushing for a playoff. Like there's no way they're gonna do it. For a
I'm
playoff.
telling you, I think you should have thrown the first pitch out in the playoff.
I don't think.
You
that
and
would've gone
James.
well. James on the mound would be. Imagine James on the mound.
Oh, just jump in.
Yeah, he's doing calisthenics.
Hands in the air, yeah.
He'd be doing calisthenics. Welcome on in. It's another edition of Clap Your Hands. Eliot, Shorr-Parks, Jack Fritz, all presented by Coors Light. Sixers lose last night.
They did.
They did. It's so weird, Eliot, because for the last, 6 years, all they do is beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
And now the Knicks are like pretty good. And
Well, so I have a Knicks fan that was texting me last night being like,
was it Spike?
no, being like, man, the whole process wasn't worth it. We're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals before you guys. Like,
They get so cocky.
I know. I'm like, you guys haven't won anything yet. But yeah, last night was bad. I think what was most disappointing about last night is you get some of the players back. It's kind of your first real look at the whole team without Embiid, which is what you're going to have for the next.
Melton's coming back.
Yeah, Melton's coming back tonight. That's a good point.
Don't get too ahead of yourself.
You're right.
The
But-
missing piece is coming back.
Yes, but like Toby's back, which we'll get into.
Awesome.
Batum's back. Like you're starting to get a little more of this isn't, just like the super injured Sixer squad. And like they just weren't competitive for like 80% of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they fell behind immediately right away. They didn't really pull it close until I would say like the first, like halfway through the third, first few minutes of the fourth. And Maxey was okay, but ultimately they looked like they never had a real chance to win that game. And as good as the Knicks are, and I think they are, like Brunson is better than I thought. I will hand up Brunson's better than I thought. But yeah,
James Jackson is
Villanova
is
over
so
here.
happy.
Right. But like they didn't have Julius Randle. They didn't have OG.
Well, that's probably why they're better.
No, but I'm just saying like
No, Julius Randle's a addition by subtraction.
right, like but to just be so uncompetitive to start. It was a buzzkill. And I feel like that's what has been recently with the Sixers. Whenever like they make the trade and we're all feeling down, me especially. But then, they go beat the Cavs and you start to feel better and Buddy's playing well. But now they've lost like 10 to 13 or 10 to 14 or something like that. They lost last night. They're probably going to lose to the Cavs tonight. They have the Bucks on Sunday. That's going to be ugly, I fear. And then they have another opponent I can't remember right now. That's another tough one. I think
Well, we know the stretch. I mean, the stretch right now
The stretch is tough.
is a gauntlet.
And so last night, I was really hoping going into it. Like if you could have beaten the Knicks, the Cavs lost last night, like you probably start to get a little more hope. And it just sucked to watch them come out and just immediately fall down like 18 points.
Yeah, and they made it close. They fought back, and you give them credit for that. But
I guess. It's hard to stay up on a team.
Yeah, and the
like
crowd last night was shockingly like a lot of Knicks fans.
dude. So when the TV, you were there, so maybe you should talk about this more than me. But watching the game on TV last night, I went into my kitchen to like do something like at the beginning of the game, and I heard a bunch of cheers, and I was like, "Oh, nice! Like it must be going well." And I go in, and it was not Sixers.
Well,
fans
it
cheering.
was like 15-3.
Yeah,
Very fast.
very fast.
It's like, oh, sweet, good start off the break.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and so
What do you think? What'd you think of the atmosphere?
So it was a good atmosphere. Like it had an old school like actual hatred. Like I don't really felt anything about the Knicks because actually
Yeah.
I like watching the Knicks.
Cut that.
They're good, man. And the biggest thing that
They're fun. There are a lot of guards. Like
the biggest thing that hit me last night, and I'll get to the atmosphere and all that. The biggest thing that hit me last night is that the Knicks have a bunch of just good basketball players.
Yeah.
Like, and they have pieces that fit. And I feel like the Sixers, they just have a collection of mostly bad,
well,
losing players.
you know what it is. The Knicks are filled with guys that learned how to play the game the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of Jay Wright.
Jay Wright at Villanova.
Exactly
He learned how to
right.
play the right way. No. I was watching last night thinking, are the Sixers just filled with losers?
But they did, like, they just don't have.
I'm just saying, like, has Buddy ever been to the playoffs? I don't think so. Right? I guess Kyle Lowry's a winner.
Kyle Lowry's
Kyle Lowry's new and like broke his face
just
last
got
night.
Here.
Yeah.
Just got here.
Like
and Kelly Oubre,
Kelly Oubre probably under the loser category.
Campaign.
Campaign was in the finals, but it was like not really. Yeah.
It's just I don't
Toby,
see
not a
Toby,
winner.
Of course not a winner.
Yeah.
Paul Reed, not a winner. Like they just don't have Like I think Embiid coming back can make it all work.
Yeah.
Even though we know he's not exactly the
Well,
biggest
speaking of
winner.
Winner losers.
I
yeah.
know, but like he can make. Like I still haven't given up. I know I fully expected you to expect me to come in and give up on the Sixers after giving last podcast. I think they had the best chance.
Right. Yeah. I'm
City
curious.
did.
I mean, look, you might still be true considering the Eagles are continuing to fall apart and
Phil started Saturday.
Phillies are basically playing naked.
Yes. Dude, the jerseys are a problem.
So you want my jersey take?
Sure.
Everyone needs to blame Nike and not Fanatics.
Dude, why do you like Michael Rubin so much?
I think he's cool. And I think he does good. Like, I don't get the hatred of Michael Rubin. Like, this is a Sixers pod, so I guess it makes sense. Like, he was part owner of the Sixers. He's a Philly guy. Like, I don't get why people don't like Michael Rubin. Like, why are people
he's
so
annoying.
Why?
He's annoying.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. Like he bothers me.
All right, but I like the uniforms are insane though. They have to do something about it, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, the packages are being shown all over the.
I thought those were photoshopped at first.
No,
they're not.
They're there. They're right in front of you.
Right there.
Exactly. Yeah, like
good segue.
Good segue. I think Embiid coming back. I think they're still a dangerous basketball team. It's just without him. Because again, who in the East are you super afraid of?
So I agree with your point. Because if you look at the East, right, like obviously it's the Celtics, it's the Bucks. I would include the Knicks. The Cavs, I still think are mostly frauds, but whatever. People are
way too low on the Pacers.
Again, I know you have this future ticket, but like,
dude, I'm telling you, they're good.
Well, I'll say this: they would beat the Sixers without Embiid. Yes, for sure.
Dude, Halliburton, Siakam, Mathurin, Naismith, Miles Turner, like,
dude, this is like the poster for gambling right here. Like looking at you right now and your knowledge of the Pacers.
They are hard. They're gonna be hard to beat in a 7-game series. No one wants to see the Pacers.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But I think what you're saying that I agree with is the Sixers look like a car that is just missing the engine. Like they have a lot of nice pieces. Like honestly, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about it more, but like Lowry looked good last night. Like Maxey, I am not as big on his performance last night as other people, but he led the game in scoring. Like
it was the quietest 35.
Dude, it was the most non-impactful, other than the stretch of like 5 minutes in the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. It was the most unimpactful 30-plus points I've ever seen.
Well, especially because late in the game, there's like 5 minutes left. They had a chance. It was like an 8-point game.
Yeah, nothing.
Well, and Knicks would go down and score. And Maxey, I
actually wrote this down. So go
nice.
ahead.
Well, I appreciated that he was willing to take the shot. It was just horrible possessions. It was just he would go down, do a little hard and step back, miss a three, and then bang, they're out of the game. Like if he could hit one of them or move the basketball, like they're back in it. It wasn't a very impactful.
So here's my Maxey issue I have. Maxey last night scored 30-something points, like, didn't look like out of it, whatever. So it's 97-88. Sixers have made a run. They have it down to 9 points. You were there, I'm sure, like the momentum was on their side. So 7:20 to go. It's 97-88. Here's what Maxey did. Missed a three-pointer. Then he fouled to give the Knicks an and one. Then he had a turnover. Then he missed a layup. Then he had another turnover. And then all of a sudden it was 107-92. Yeah. So while he played well, he was the best Sixer on the floor last night, and he deserves credit for that. But where they need him, where they most miss Embiid, and this has been our whole point in the whole pod, is where the Sixers' main issue is they don't have someone to go to when they need someone to go to. Like in the playoffs, that's been an issue. Embiid hasn't shown up, or he's been hurt, or Simmons has been a no-show, or Maxey was too young. And this year, Embiid has been that guy. Like that's why he was MVP before going down, and that's why they were like 26-8 with him or whatever, is in those crunch moments, they had someone to go to. Maxey has not yet shown on a consistent basis he is someone that in crunch time you can go to. And last night was a perfect example. Like he deserves credit for keeping him in the game. He deserves credit for bringing him back. But when they needed somebody to like make the final push, he not only wasn't there, like he blew it. And that was my disappointing part with Maxey last night. It isn't that, he's bad. It isn't that I don't think, like, that's when you need him. And that's when they didn't get him last night.
Well, and it was surprising to me that it didn't feel like Buddy was really.
Well, Buddy, I think, has fallen off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's only one.
Well, I'm just saying, I think I think the arrow is pointing down on Buddy. I think the initial burst of excitement of him being here is like coming down.
Sure. I mean, that's always going to happen, though. Yeah. And it's going to happen with Lowry, by the way. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
But like, because the first couple of games we talked about this, like he looked like the alpha, and last night it was like, there's
like
Buddy.
He wasn't even playing.
There's Buddy. That's the Buddy that I feel like we've seen the last couple of years. They're and it's annoying that we're here again, but we are. It's the reality of the situation. They're just so Embiid dependent.
Yeah.
They're so Embiid dependent because without Embiid, it's like Oubre becomes super exposed. Toby, dude, there was
the decisions Oubre makes are like
he can't play.
I agree. Like in the final 5 minutes of a game, of a playoff game, I don't think you can have him on the court.
He can't play.
Like even that Cavs win, he made the three, but like shooting that three was absurd.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Toby.
One possession last night, he missed like 3 straight shots.
He did. Yeah, I know. They had a chance to come back, and he was blowing bunnies at the rim. It was unbelievable. Toby, like, just can't catch the basketball.
Yep. And that was one of the maxi turnovers, to be
like
fair.
5 points. Oh, yeah, 5 points last night?
I think so, yeah.
5 points against the Knicks? Like,
so,
he's the third, again, and not to always bring it back to the contract, $37 million.
Well, I think why it's fair to bring it to the contract is that it really matters what percentage of the cap you're bringing up. Like, the number actually doesn't matter, but they have a large percentage of their resources put into Toby, and they are not getting that same percentage back in terms of helping them win. So when I look at Toby, and look, last night was his first game back in a while. I guess you can, whatever, for whatever that's worth. But again, like if we're going to criticize Maxey, and I know Maxey's already viewed on a different level, but Maxey doesn't take up as a bigger percentage as Toby. Like Toby is who they've invested these big time resources in. And last night, not only was he not helpful, he was a net negative. Like he slows the ball down. They tried to play a small lineup with like Lowry, Buddy, Maxey. I think they even had maybe Campaign in there. They did a small lineup with Toby as the main guy, and Toby can't rebound. So that was another problem last night we haven't really got into. They are a horrendous rebounding team. Like without Embiid, they can't get rebounds. No. And now then early on, the Knicks made shots. They cooled off as the game went on.
Dude,
and that's
KJ Martin in 21 minutes last night led them in rebounding.
With what, probably?
7.
Yeah.
Dude, you know who's second?
Yeah.
Maxey.
Nice.
Your 6'1"
nice
guard is second on the team in rebounding.
But that's what happened last night is once the Knicks cooled off and they started missing shots, the Sixers gave up. I'll be curious to see what the second chance points are. It probably won't make me look good. But it looked like last night the issue was the Knicks got a bunch of second chances. So I think where you're missing Embiid is not only are you losing from a rebounding perspective, all these guys, and I think the way you phrase it is so perfect, they're Embiid dependent. They don't have anybody on the court that can do it on their own without Embiid. For as much as like in Jaylen Brown, the dunk contest thing, like whatever, like Jaylen Brown can do it without Tatum. I think Jamal Murray can do it without Jokic.
For a little bit. But
I think like he's older and he's done it for more years. But like other teams have players that can do it without the other player. And on a night where Maxey had a bunch of points, it sounds weird to say, but it felt like a bunch of home runs when you're down like 9-2 already. Like it matters and it gets you back, but like where were you when they fell behind?
Well, what another thing last night did for me, and I think I felt this way in the moment. I feel like you were a little bit more fired up about it. Is like that Cavs game was such an aberration.
Yeah, because
they all were essentially just going one-on-one. Like they have a bunch of one-on-one-ish guys. Well, like the Oubres, the Paynes, the like sometimes Toby gets a little bit going with the one-on-one. And it's like stop dribbling.
Ball.
Stop dribbling.
Little fadeaway jump.
Well, I mean, we brought up the Kevin gift from The Office.
Yes, the chili.
Yeah, it's like that's a Toby possession.
As he drives into the paint, he spills the chili.
Exactly right, dude. That's him. And when those guys are scoring, they'll be fine. But it's just you can't there's no one you can rely on. You rely on Maxey the most because he can. He scored 35 last night.
But they were meaningless points. Mostly meaningless.
It's just there's no one you can. Even Buddy, like Buddy is taking a huge step back. Now we'll see how the night goes. Maybe I feel like last night it was like Maxey, you got to go be the guy. Go be the guy.
Have you seen the line for tonight?
No,
I haven't either. It was 10 last time. I think it's in Philly, right?
It is in Philly tonight.
So I would imagine maybe a little less, but I think the chances they beat the Cavs tonight
it's 4.5.
4.5. Wow, I would hammer the Cavs. Minus 4.5.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cavs lose to the Sixers 2 straight times.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Mitchell loves playing here too. He
should be a Sixer.
He gets a little bit more fired up. But yeah, it's just it was tough. And last night the crowd, again, like the atmosphere, it was crazy. So we had seats like literally right behind I've never been that close.
So I think I saw you on TV.
Nice.
So were you sitting behind the scorer's table?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 rows up. Mm-hmm. And you had on your red flannel, which I know now because you posted the picture. Yeah, I saw you.
Nice.
Although I think it looked like you were sitting by yourself.
I was.
Okay.
No, I was. Yeah, no, and I don't want this podcast to think that I'm a loser.
Well, that's
no, James, don't. No. So the reason why I was sitting by myself.
Yeah.
Not a loser. No, it's funny. I actually sat down. And there was a guy behind me who I haven't seen really since we went to middle school together.
Oh, so you knew him
like literally right behind me. Like wow. I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. So it was
That
very,
can
very
be a little
small world.
awkward.
Yeah, but we like.
Well, because I feel like you do the initial like, yo, it's so good to see you. That's so crazy. Da, da, da. And then you sit down and it's like, I feel like you can like feel him behind
That's
you.
the problem.
Yeah.
Like, do I do the turnaround talk?
Exactly. Like, how
You
many
know?
times do you have to talk to him? You haven't talked to him in 20 years.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's also like I would love to catch up, but also I want to watch the game. But
right. Also, your hoops head.
Yeah, you know me. By the way, I was the last one at WIP there last night.
It's actually not surprising.
Everyone else had left.
Yeah. It's
Besides Tucker. It was me and Tucker.
basketball guys.
So what are you leaving for?
Did you bet the game?
Of course.
What'd you bet?
Not the spread.
Yeah.
Josh Hart 2 threes. Nailed that.
Money.
I had a parlay that wasn't even close.
I know.
Wasn't
Well, I
even
feel like the whole reason you probably stayed was to.
to see my parlay. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I did need to see Josh Hart hit that second.
Is it more exciting watching gambling in person?
Way more exciting.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, and the funniest part is like, so the Sixers were obviously losing at that point.
Yeah.
Josh Hart hit the three, and I let out. I'm like, yeah. And everyone's
In
like,
the box, at least.
Yeah.
So you had tickets down low and in the box?
Yeah, so I had a suite and I had
How'd that
lower
happen?
level. Don't worry about it.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I guess company wise we have those.
Okay. Nice. I'll have to
Yeah, just see what
take
you
advantage
can
of that
do.
once I recover.
Yeah, from your big wisdom teeth
Yeah.
surgery, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so being down that close, you can you hear everything.
Yeah.
It was so funny, like hearing Lowry being like, no, like I didn't even. Like, it was,
So what were the vibes of the team like?
I wasn't like that. I was actually more behind the Knicks bench.
Okay.
So like Thibodeau was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like just hearing him argue and the ref, the poor ref comes over and he's like he didn't touch. Like stop. And Tip's like, no, mom. Like, it was unbelievable
Did
seeing
you
it.
see
that
the clip of Pat Bev talking about Scott Foster?
No.
So he said like he was yelling at Scott Foster about something, and he was like something like, you know, like you wouldn't call that on Chris Paul or whatever. And Scott Foster said to Pat Bev, "You don't even like Chris Paul doesn't even know who you are," or something like
Nice.
that, or you don't have his number. Like,
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of smack talk that you don't hear.
So here's my question I have for you being there. I think that when the Eagles struggle and the Phillies struggle, we talk a lot about the atmosphere down there.
Tight ballpark.
Yeah, well, I think more so like, is it sold out? Like, are fans taking over that? Like, da-da-da-da. I feel like we don't do it with the Sixers. But last night felt, now look, I think Josh Harris is a great owner, but regardless, I doubt he was there last night.
He was not.
Go on a limb.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, do you think he cares that last night, like, what was the atmosphere like?
It was very Knicks heavy.
And like, was it sold out? It looked,
I would say like 90%. 90%. But
And
there was
what
there was a good amount of open seats.
yeah.
For sure.
And like, what percentage of Knicks fans?
I would say like 30-40%, which is high.
Yeah.
But they were there.
Well, it sounded like
Well,
it.
the MVP chants were very like. I don't think you couldn't really drown them out.
Well, I felt bad. So Kate Scott on the broadcast, it's so clear that the MVP chant is loud and a few fans are yelling, and she's like, Sixers fans drowning out the MVP chant. I'm like,
I don't know if they are.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if they are. But yeah, no, there was a lot of Knicks fans there and like walking around. I mean,
I think it's worrisome is my question. Like,
worrisome
do you think,
about what? Like people.
well,
give
like
up
I
on
think
the
when
team?
like when now it doesn't really happen, but if like opposing fans take over Eagles Stadium or
Which
when
is never really
never really happened.
The Niners game. Remember the Niners game in 21?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, so this is a point I'm making. I think sometimes fans taking over your arena is a sign of larger problems,
Mhm.
like a disinterest in the team, like all those things. Was the feeling at the Wells Fargo last night almost one of like complacency, where like people are checked out, or you think it was just the Knicks are close and they spent a lot of money to come?
So I think it's two things. I think one, Knicks fans believe in this team. Like Spike Lee was there, so he was
Most famous spike in the
the
building.
most famous Spike in the building last night.
Yeah.
So Spike Lee was there. I think Knicks fans are, and plus I'm sure garden tickets are really expensive. Like
Yeah, and they're not to get to the Wells Fargo.
exactly.
Right.
So I think that they believe in their basketball team, and I think they want to see this team, and it's the first time Knicks fans have had like hope in a long time. So I think that's a big part of it. I think
Yeah.
I think the Yankees are the face of New York sports, but I think the Knicks are like number 2
I agree.
when it comes to like passion about the team.
Yep.
But
It's got to suck for Mikal Bridges to be a net, by the way.
I know.
This guy feels so left out.
I know. We gotta save him. Like
I think he wants to go to the Knicks.
probably.
Yeah.
He's doing a podcast with Jalen Brunson.
I know, it's
Like,
absurd.
And all the Knicks are on there. But I thought it was a complacent crowd last night.
That's
Like
yeah.
we're just here. Like I don't think people walked into the building expecting a win.
That's where I think the tough thing is with the Sixers is like, and there's been some updates on Embiid, you know, like maybe I think the hope is like in a month or 5 weeks or whatever. But man, this could really like come off the tracks. Yeah.
The train can go off the
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the worrisome part with the crowd last night to me. It was like, people are just going to check out.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. And now Josh Harris, I don't think really cares.
No.
Still think he's a great owner, but
Right.
I just wonder like how the Sixers feel about like the emotional part of this.
Well, I guess we'll see how tonight goes. But again,
they are going to lose tonight.
I think people are back in the whole "wake me up when Embiid's back."
Yes.
I don't think there's much. They're inspiring much confidence. I think Buddy gave a little bit of a bump, the Buddy bump.
The Buddy bump
for a little bit. But
Buddy is a good nickname guy.
Yeah.
Buddy Ball.
Dude, Buddy's a
Buddy
great
bump.
name. It's a great name.
Yeah.
I think people are just kind of out.
Yeah.
I think they're out, and it's not as bad as it was last year for the Flyers Rangers game with the remember that when the Rangers
it was like
let's
90,
go Rangers.
Yep. Yeah.
It was like 90% Rangers. It wasn't that bad. But
it was bad.
But it wasn't like walking in we're gonna get this win like screw the Knicks. And it comes back to when Embiid back. I think that's when people buy in again.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is fair. I really don't. I don't think it's fair to like be so apathetic about where this team is at. Like they're annoying. Their offense when Embiid's not there is just it's brutal. And
it's kind of bandwagony.
They go through these tough stretches, but like they're like to completely give up and just wait for Embiid to get back. I think is faulty.
I agree. I think this whole idea, and a lot of people do it, of like wake me up when the playoffs start or blah blah blah. It's like you're either I'm not trying to like chastise the fans, but you know like you're either like a Sixers fan or you're not. Like now, to the point of believing, I think everyone can be rational and say this team doesn't have enough right now for what the stretch run is going to be.
We know that.
But I think, the whole like showing up expecting a loss, like that's got to be deflating.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So you weren't there last night.
I was not.
Very disappointing.
I was more disappointed. That event last night had Eliot written all over it.
Oh yeah. It could have been near the court. Could have been, in all the photos.
Not only that,
we had so many nice replies on Twitter with any photos of us.
I know, I saw. It was very friendly. A lot of people saying clap your hands should have been the bell ringers.
One person.
We're not here to say yes or no to that. That's just what the people are saying.
One person.
Last night, I would have loved to like go out afterwards, like go and drink. Just couldn't make it.
Yeah, why couldn't you make it?
So I had my wisdom teeth out.
How's that going?
You had your wisdom teeth out?
No.
You haven't?
My wisdom teeth are still in.
So James, I believe, says he has, right? So I had all 4 out. And now I have a checkup in an hour, so I don't want to like jinx it.
Okay.
Like I've had no pain, like whatsoever. The toughest thing I think that I was not expecting is it's really hard to eat and sleep. And so like last night, I was too weak.
You're too weak to get there.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at the outside looking in here, it feels like an excuse.
No, it is an excuse. Yeah, but like the biggest issue is like I don't trust myself. Like I know if I would have gone there, I would have been talking loud. I would have been yelling. I probably would have been like, peer pressured into having a drink. Like, and so I just...
Yeah, it would have been peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure.
Yes,
like,
yes.
I was the easiest peer pressure
you are
to break in the
35.
world.
Yeah, you're
36.
36.
But, so I had to stay home. But it's a shame because it looked like it was a ton of fun.
It was fun. It was just... They played bad. And then everyone left.
Yeah,
and I was alone.
How long did Ike stay?
Like end of the third.
Okay, that was longer than I thought.
Yeah, no, dude. So I was alone because I was late getting in because I had to walk to my car, which was like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get in the parking lot until like 6:50, and then I was supposed to be on the court, but I couldn't get to the court. So then.
Oh, so you weren't on the court for it?
No. So they all went back into the back area, being the big VIPs.
Right.
So I was up in the suite where just me and Tucker, and I was like, oh, I'll go down. Like they think they're in the seats, and then I get down there, they're back behind. So I got screwed. There's nothing worse. I'm not good at the whole like just being by myself and look. I don't want people looking at me and thinking there's a loser.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now I will say at Phillies games, for the playoff games I was at with you, you're very much by yourself.
I would much rather be myself.
Yeah, like there you're like kind of leave me alone.
Yes.
But I agree, it is harsh, especially when you think people know who you are. When you're like, look at that loser over there.
Now. Right. And I slipped on the step once going down, and I caught myself.
Like on the railing?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I was just dreading going down with it. I had a beer in my hand and just going down.
Of course, like.
And like, it's like Jack Fritz just fell.
Yeah.
At the Sixers game.
It's like the new DeCamera eating an ice cream cone thing.
Can't happen.
Sure, people would take it well.
There's a lot. Because every time you walk around, you feel like there's eyeballs are on you. Yeah. Like, what's the loser guy doing?
There's that hack from WIP.
There's that
wants to trade AJ.
That wants to trade AJ. Running AJ Brown out of town.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. So,
Lowry?
I look like a loser for a little bit, but we
bounced
back.
We can name the pod. Jack and the Sixers are losers for a little bit.
Yeah. Jack and the Sixers Don't call them losers.
Yeah. Promise they have friends.
Yes, I promise you. I promise. There's nothing worse. Also, when you're like, no, I could be here because I was telling my friend who I haven't seen since middle school.
Right.
Like, I listen to you every day, which is funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I could be here soon. And then he never showed up.
Nice.
I was like, damn it.
I will say, being out in public, the two people I think are the hardest to be out in public with from a morale perspective are Ike and John Clark.
Sure.
Like Ike is got to be the most popular person in Philadelphia in terms of sports, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Who would you put ahead of him?
I mean, I exist at Phillies.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's a good point. You at Phillies games, yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, Ike is he's like a magnet.
He's the man.
Yeah. So everyone's like Ike juice, yada yada yada. I was like, Ike will be here, and then he never showed up. And it's like
splash of Fritz.
Yeah. I guess I also am part of the show.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've heard the new name.
Yeah.
Jack and Friends.
Fritz and Friends.
Yeah, Fritz and Friends.
Fritz and Friends, man. It's sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry. Whoa, where are you at after game one?
All right. So I'm gonna bring the whole clap thing back here. When they signed Lowry, I was like at this. Like, I thought he was washed. I was like, this is a waste of time. It's like a morale mascot. Dude, after last night, I'd start him. I think he's the best point guard on the team.
I would start him too.
Yeah.
I would start him too.
I also think he has to be on the court. If these magical minutes come where Embiid is healthy and they're playing a playoff game, I think he's like the final 5
He's a closer
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my thing with Lowry. He hadn't played in 2 months?
Broke his face.
He played 25 minutes. He hadn't played in a long time. It's his first game in Philly. I think it was an emotional night.
I agree with all that.
I expect to have some pep in his step.
Yes.
So that's good. I'm not at the point where it's like, oh my God, like Lowry, what a steal.
So when he had his first layup, when he went like under the basket at the buzzer, I agree with you. My feeling was like, wow, this guy's really juiced for tonight. And understandably so. I don't think you're going to get that from him a lot. But I think what you saw from him last night, he's a willing three-point shooter. Mm-hmm. He's a good three-point shooter. I think he's smart with the basketball, which is not something you can say for a lot of Sixers. I think he has a calmness and control about him when he has the ball, which I don't think Maxey has, and I don't think their other guards have. I think he is like a definition of a floor general. And you could even see it like 2 minutes in the game last night. I think it was he came in and there was a timeout right away or something like that. And he's like huddling the team up, talking about what to do and all that. I think he brings a lot of little things that no one else on the Sixers brings. So while I agree with you, I don't think he's gonna be like driving to the basket and like all that. And I think he will slow down. And I think that he's going to probably get injured and miss time, unfortunately, just because he's old and everyone on the Sixers gets hurt. But I think if he's healthy in the playoffs, like he is someone you put out on the court.
So is this their best starting five in the postseason? Is it Maxey, Lowry, or Lowry Maxey?
Yeah.
Buddy, Batum, Embiid.
I think those are the best 5 players. Yeah.
Like, do they have the stones to put Toby on the bench?
So I don't think they had the stones to put him on the bench to start the game. I do. Well,
close. All right.
So Maxey, Embiid, and Batum are probably definite locked-in starters.
Maxey, Batum. Well, yeah. I guess Buddy's not because he's.
But I think Buddy is probably pretty close to that.
Yeah.
So Toby would be the one you would take out. Like, here's the thing with Toby. They don't owe him anything anymore. You've paid him all the money. He's been here for the whole contract. You have held on to him. You have started him. You have played him. He's gone this offseason. Like, you don't need to worry about that relationship anymore. So there was ever a time
maybe they'll bring him back.
Well, then that is what it is.
They can't. I could not do it.
Would you bring him back on like a 1 year, $5 million deal?
I do not want Toby here anymore. It's one of those things where you could bring back on a vet minimum. Just
he's got to go.
Can't be here.
Jalen Reagor, just get him out of here.
Can't be here anymore.
So I think that with Toby, like last night, he's a bad rebounder. So if you're gonna start a lineup that has, like, let's say you took out Batum and you put Toby in, like you have Embiid in this situation, that's helpful. But you have 3 players on the court that you can't really count on rebounding. Lowry used to be a decent rebounder for a guard, but he's older now.
Right, so 4 last night.
Yeah, I mean, he's a decent rebounder, but I don't think it's like you're counting on him getting rebounds.
I would hope
playoffs.
not.
Yeah.
I would hope not.
So Toby, I think the tough thing about benching him would be that perspective of, but he's not even good at benching. So like, I'm sorry, not even good at rebounding. So there's not really a benefit to keeping him out there. He slows the ball down on offense. He's not really a willing 3-point shooter anymore. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's ISO ball, which I think, again, like makes the ball stagnant and slows it down. So no, like I don't see a benefit of playing him.
No.
And he's not going to be here next year.
No.
So like you're not even getting the benefit of giving him minutes like that.
Well, and I mean, Clay looks like he has some juice coming off the bench in Golden State. Like maybe it's something that'll motivate him.
I mean, he's going to play.
He's going to play.
Yeah,
I know. But like,
but to your point about do they have the stones to bench him? No, I don't.
I don't think they do. But
I think they have the stones not to play him.
Last 5
late.
minutes.
Yeah.
Last 5 minutes. Like Lowry, Batum. Lowry, Maxey, Buddy, Batum, and Embiid. I think is their best 5.
I agree.
And I think it makes sense spacing wise. Makes sense ball handler wise.
Isn't it crazy how much things change with like? All right, so we talked a lot about on this pod this season about the depth of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So look at those 5 players. Outside of those 5 players, excuse me, who do you feel confident in off the bench?
No one.
Okay.
I mean, like just pure confidence. No.
Like Oubre.
They all have moments. They have
an
moments.
8th man isn't terrible. Like Campaign, I think is terrible. Yeah.
Dude, the stretch last night where he like just shot a 3 for no reason, and then like had a foul and was like half court.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, he can't play.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
He can't play. He can't play. So who do I trust off the bench? Like Oubre, no. Like, but they can have moments.
How about let's view it in this perspective? Guys you'd feel comfortable having on the court in the final 5 minutes.
In the final 5 minutes, I mean, the only ones I trust are
Paul Reed?
No. Maxey, Batum, Lowry,
Embiid.
and Embiid.
Right. Yeah.
Even Buddy, like I've been I'm impressed with. I'm still not at the I trust Buddy stage.
So yeah, the depth is
Ricky Council.
Ricky Council, I don't know, man. There is a part of me with this team where it's like just play Ricky Council, play the you almost want to try to do 2 things at once.
Well, you forgot Melton too. I mean, Melton's back tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, look,
Trust him in big moments.
tonight he's playing, right?
Yes. Well, should be.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see how he looks tonight. That's a big deal. I mean, he was a starter before he left.
I know.
So, and we don't even talk about.
Do they start him?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think that Lowry has proven to be a better addition than I thought. But overall,
Hasn't proven that. It's been 1 game.
Well, yeah, whatever. Okay, 1 game. I mean, he looked better last night than I thought he ever would. Put it that way.
But now that's going to be, can he do it back to back? Can he do it? How's he going to look Sunday against the Bucks?
Dude, if I got hit in the forehead the way Lowry got hit in the forehead,
He'd be out.
I would at least not be at work for 2 weeks. I think, right? Like, I actually got stitches there before.
Really?
When I was younger. Yeah, I tripped on steps at a stadium and smacked my forehead on.
Wow.
Yeah, at a baseball game.
Really? You were at a baseball game?
Yeah, it was a Virginia Beach minor league baseball game.
Ah, nice.
I was running trying to get a foul ball. Didn't get it.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. He bounced back though.
I did.
How do you think the reaction is going to be to Doc on Sunday?
All right, so I have a Doc take. Are you ready?
Sure.
You're gonna hate it.
Yes.
I think it's so lame when the entire internet gangs up on somebody. Like right now, Doc cannot win. Like whatever he says, whatever he does.
Because he's lying, dude.
What did he lie about?
Dude, he's like between the whole like, this is the toughest thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. Like, no, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Is annoying.
It's exaggerating. I agree.
He's exaggerating. The thing with the whole like, why are you doing this? Like acting like, please, no. Why are you asking me to be a head coach?
Right.
No,
right.
That's a horrible idea.
Or that he, didn't know that he wanted the job.
Well, like, did you hear the quote about him? Like, man, these schedule makers, like they've never been on a plane before. How did we ever expect to win in Utah?
He's an excuse maker. I agree, but like, I just think he's at a point right now where he cannot win. Like everything.
Just don't talk.
He has to talk.
Like,
he's a head coach of a team.
Just calm down.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Don't you agree that it gets it like this with the internet, where they all decide this is the person we're going to make fun of, and everyone's like, who can make the best joke? Who can who can really flame him the hardest?
I will say though, the tweets yesterday,
making up the lies.
Yeah, after the shy thing that he said about how like I told Kawhi, I think he can be a good player.
Shy, isn't it Shay?
Shy. SGA. I was gonna say SGA.
It's a tough one. It's a nervous one to pronounce. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say it too fast because then I just mumble it all together.
Yep.
So SGA, but like that whole quote was hilarious.
It was, but like it could be true. I don't know. I'm a big benefit of the doubt guy.
I know.
Completely honest. But like, so here's my thing with Doc. I think right now, like he's a good chance like their season might crater. Now there's a good chance they're definitely gonna beat the Sixers.
Sure.
Like, all right. Here's another question for you. I tweeted, would you wish you could have gone back and traded Lillard for Maxey? 91% of the people said no. Where would you fall on it?
I would still say no.
Yeah? Even watching Lillard like win the 3-point contest, win NBA
All-Star
Game
MVP.
Like,
I'm still not there.
Okay,
I would rather have Maxey. Not that I don't think Lillard's good. It's just I don't know how much longer Lillard has, and I would take the chance on a little runway here for Tyrese Maxey.
Fair. Yes, I'm not in on the docket. Just not. I'm sorry. I can't have fun with it the way other people are.
He makes it so easy.
He does.
He makes it really easy.
He does.
And I expect a good old boo.
Oh, he is going to get booed.
He's gonna get
big time.
And then him post game when they probably rout the Sixers.
I know.
Is gonna be legendary.
Unbelievable.
Cannot wait for it.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
But he will get booed. Not like Ben Simmons got booed, but he will get booed.
Yes. In a potential finals matchup, who would you root for, the Clippers or the Bucks?
The Clippers. I'd be happy if Harden won a title. I like Harden. I don't get the hate against Harden.
Yeah, I don't have a big vitriol towards Harden. Like he should have a ring. He's a top 75 player of all time.
So we might are you in on the Clippers yet?
Yeah.
I think they're more legit than I thought.
Well, yeah, but they're also, Kawhi could just not play. So it's like, I don't trust the Clippers.
Right.
But when they're healthy and playing, yes.
So Kendrick Perkins said on a pregame show last night that the Clippers are the best team in the NBA.
Sure.
I think when healthy, they probably are.
Yeah. Them and the Celtics.
Them are the Celtics. And I think at full strength, if the Clippers are playing their best game and the Celtics are playing their best game, I think the Clippers win.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And then final thing here for me.
Okay.
I love Pat Bev as a Sixer. I've become annoyed by Pat
So
Bev.
I love Pat Bev more than I've ever loved Pat Bev.
Why?
I love how authentic he is. But
it's not authentic.
It is completely
it's
authentic.
not authentic.
What's not authentic?
Because he jumps to whatever team and then it's like, oh, now no, all we care about is winning.
Yeah, where he goes, he fully ingratiates himself, and he's
but that's not authentic.
No, it is.
It's not authentic.
It is.
It's moving to a new place and just
But the authentic part is wherever you go, you fully embrace it.
So the authentic part is that you change everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The authentic part is that wherever he is like all in.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's also maybe the best the best example of a player I've ever seen that you do love when he's here, and then people hate when he's not.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I believe I said he was untouchable.
What'd you think of the whole JJ Redick thing with him?
I don't know. It was fine.
All right.
I don't really
2-5.
I don't really do social media.
Yeah, you're not big into social media.
It's not social and it's not media.
Yeah. It's not social and it's not media.
It's not social.
I like Pat Bev. I hope he does well on Sunday when he comes here.
I wonder what the reaction to Pat Bev's going to be.
I think cheers.
If he didn't have the podcast, I think it's cheers. But he's been a little.
The quote about that quote did not help him. I agree.
Yeah.
But I think people are mad at the Sixers. I think people like Pat Bev. I also think the in-stadium crowd is different than the online crowd.
That's in every.
Yeah. So I think Pat Bev will be treated fairly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just you don't have to take all the shots at the Sixers. You know.
He took one shot.
Yeah, it's enough.
Okay, it's enough for you.
Yeah.
I bet he's back next year.
On the Sixers?
Re-signed as a free agent.
Why?
That's my thought.
Okay. Do you think Buddy Hield's back?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think Buddy's back.
Yeah.
Buddy Ball.
I would love to see the contract. How much are they giving Buddy Hield?
I have no concept of this, but I like $12 million.
Feels low.
I don't know. I think he makes 18 now, right?
Yeah.
Is he worth that? James seems to have an opinion on this.
Well,
you think up?
Marcus Morris got 17.
Yeah, I just think
But Marcus Morris.
Sure, market value. I don't think Buddy comes in under.
He'll get 20.
I guess
20,
20.
20
Okay, that's fair.
34.
Yeah. 12 million?
Yeah, 12 million is like.
Okay, again,
the guy was the best player traded
12 million
at the
is
deadline.
like what you want to give Toby now.
Well, all right. So first of all, was he the best player traded at the deadline? Because Bogdanovich certainly seemed to have something to say about that.
Well,
last night.
You know me. I was just watching the bald spot.
Yeah, you were in the whole time.
And I said, hey, Daryl, winner. He kills the Sixers.
Did you see Daryl last night?
No.
Oh, I thought maybe you would with Spike.
No, you weren't there, so I didn't.
So I was like, one part of me wanting to go is I do think the picture of me and Daryl would be really fun.
The problem is he's like 6'5".
Oh, trust me, I know.
He would tower over you.
Yes, he's a big
Wow,
guy.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, I've never.
Have you ever? No, he's huge.
No, but you guys look alike.
Oh, that I look like him? Yeah. People tweet that at me all the time.
In very nice ways, I'm sure.
Too bad. Yeah. It's like,
all right, Eliot, you have to go. You have a wisdom teeth checkup.
Get a checkup. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next time you can join us for a Sixers game. That's a company outing.
Dude, again, it kills.
Maybe
me.
you could be a team player one time.
It kills me. I couldn't go.
Yeah, no.
You know how bad I would
have
liked to go?
There may not be an IN team, but there is an ME.
I know, dude. My happy place last night would have been out of the game drinking with you guys.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is
Maybe
what it
next
is.
time.
You were not there.
Yeah, I was not there, so Jack had to look like a loser by himself.
I did, dude. I felt like you feel so small.
Yeah,
in those
yeah.
Situations.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to your life.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back maybe Sunday post game.
Oh, we'll talk.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Either way, listen, hold on. Phil's play at 1. So.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. So I go to the combine too. So my guess is like next Wednesday, Thursday.
All right. Well, either way, we'll be back soon. Eliot's headed to the combine. You excited for Indianapolis?
Yeah, I'm afraid to fly with my wisdom teeth, but we'll see.
You'll be all right.
Thanks.
You'll be all right.
So I have to check up.
What's the weather like in Indianapolis?
Cold?
How cold?
Like 30s.
No, it's not too bad. But I feel like it's colder in the Midwest.
It's a colder cold. Yeah.
30 there is different than 30 here.
Oh, work the bars.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you come back with some information?
Sources. I'll try.
Yeah,
I'll try my best.
Yeah. One time for me, Big J.
I got stuff last year.
Well,
I said they were going to re-sign Bradbury. No one thought that.
yeah, that's true.
All right.
Tweet it, coward.
Tweet
Tweet it, coward.
All right.
Either way, we'll be back soon. Boo Doc. And
Go Pat Pat.
Hey, go Sixers.
There it is.
Maybe don't embarrass us. Don't embarrass us.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. For Eliot, Shorr-Parks, and Jack Fritz, this has been another edition of Clap Your Hands.